This year I graduated twice with 2 master's degrees from 2 different universities in 2 different countries, did them concurrently. I don't think the master's degree is just testing to see if you have like the knowledge of the topics and whatever. I feel like the more of all that God requires from you is your presence. When you go back to school, do not play small about it because you have no idea how much power you're capable of wielding. Whatever it is, I just want to share some lessons that I've learned from my journey. Do not dare take feedback from your supervisor personally. It will break you. The power that leads you to conceive the idea that you want to go back to school for higher education. Your mind was in the right place, you really wanted to get it right, but somehow the day comes and you didn't do the work and you have to, the total cost of a master was about, until you're put in a situation whereby you have to, like you must or you must. And finally, it's the fact that so today's video is dedicated to anyone that is hoping to advance their education, quote-unquote adult education. If you're looking to get into your master's program, PhD program, whatever it is, I just want to share some lessons that I've learned from my journey. For those of you who do not know, let me brag a bit. This year I graduated twice with 2 master's degrees from 2 different universities in 2 different countries, did them concurrently, graduated the first master's in January this year, and the last master's I graduated, I think last month, November, I graduated November. So graduated 2 masters this year, 2 different countries. One was fully sponsored, the other one was privately paid. Lesson number 1 is to forgive yourself quickly. The first thing that you're going to have to make peace with and learn, it may not be the first thing because it takes a minute to down on you. But what happened in my case is I eventually came to a place where I had to learn how to forgive myself very fast, because when you go back to school as an adult and you're your own parent, whether you're fully paid for or you're paying for yourself, you are juggling many cases. If you don't get a scholarship and go to the UK to study whereby you're fully a student and you're being paid as a student, even then I do believe that the challenges can come through, but you are juggling school, work, life. Some people are parents. You have so many different hats that you have to cover. You're part of society. You must have a social life. So you're definitely going to be dropping some balls. And the balls that you get to drop academically sometimes can be so tough and painful. It's missing out on coursework. It's lagging behind over a small thing in class where all your friends are ahead, especially if you're in a class whereby the sample who do their masters really young, like someone gets out of bachelor's degree at 23, 24, and by 26, they get back into their master's class. So they do not necessarily have a full-time job. They don't have responsibilities. Sometimes they're even still staying with their parents at home. And they have a lot of time. They'll become maybe the class representative and they're just ever at par. Like they're giving you the P for pressure. And you might judge yourself harshly. Learn to forgive yourself very quickly. You will slack back on a deadline, not because you wanted to. Your heart was in the right place. Your mind was in the right place. You really wanted to get it right. But somehow that day comes and you didn't do the work and you have to, come up with a story for your supervisor and you will feel really bad about it. Learn to forgive yourself quickly. It will help you in very many ways and will go a long way in helping to preserve your mental health. Which leads me to my second point, that feedback is not an attack on your person. Do not dare take feedback from your supervisor personally. It will break you, because your supervisor will say, sometimes use very hard words, sometimes their attitude will be so hard and so tough. And I think the biggest lesson I learned is that I don't think the master's degree is just testing to see if you have like the knowledge of the topics and whatever. I feel like they more of test your character. They test it to build it. They test your resilience. They test your tenacity, your ability to stand and be firm and defend your mind and your points and be able to defend your integrity. Like it builds your character in different ways. Integrity. I feel like there's a point you get to and they're no longer testing the things you are writing, whether they're correct or wrong. They're testing your character as a person, as an expert, as a professional. They want to make sure that you can stand on business and be solid, because after some time you realize all the things that you've been struggling with were actually always right and like they're being approved, like you're doing just a few polishes here and there. So please, while you forgive yourself quickly, Do not take feedback personally. When you don't take feedback personally, just take it professionally. Take it as, that's their point of view. I see it. Let me see if it makes sense. Let me apply their point of view. But this is my point of view. What do you think about it? Do not be scared, but also don't take the feedback personally. And that will help you easily forgive yourself every time you drop the ball. The third thing that came into play for me is Philippians that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That scripture came so much into play during this journey where I was doing 2 master's programs at a go. You have no idea how much power you're capable of wielding and how many things you're capable of getting done, the results you're capable of getting, until you're put in a situation whereby you have to. Like you must, you will discover so much about yourself. Your master's journey will stretch you and pull you to produce results that you did not know you're capable of. Case in example, my privately paid master's at Macquarie University was 2 years. The total cost of a master's was about 10 million. But when you add all other expenses, other fees, graduation fees, in total of everything, let's say comes to about 13 million. And of course, you've moved out of home. You are paying rent every month. You are supposed to raise that tuition. You have a life to maintain, normal life expenses. And to be able to do it and not break and actually do it successfully and pass excellently, like be able to deliver at work, deliver at school, deliver to your family, deliver as someone who's just part of society as an adult, be there for friends and show up for them, and be able to wake up debt-free, non-struggling, and actually graduate and celebrate it. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. To be able to understand the things that they teach, to be able to go through all your courseworks and all the exams, to do your research work to the end, to get a topic and start building it and read all the resources and put them together and make them make sense, and have 10 examiners go through your work and say, yeah, this is it, it's a good job, approved, and have a book published. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Do not give up and don't refuse to start on your journey in 2026. Just do it. All that God requires from you is your presence. Again, Philippians, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. The other lesson I learned that I love so much is something that I had from Oprah Winfrey, which she learned from Maya Angelou, which is, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. When you go back to school, do not play small about it, because the power that leads you to conceive the idea that you want to go back to school for higher education, and it somehow leads you to a particular field of study that you should go into, and it leads you to make the sacrifice. Like, it's easier to come from work and come home and Netflix and chill and not have the responsibility of coursework, and not have the responsibility of paying tuition, and not have the responsibility of having to read things and understand them and do exams. The part that makes you count that entire cost and choose to go back to school anyway, it's something you're not aware of during the process. You might think it's just you that is pushing yourself to go. You are standing in the gap for so many people that you represent, the people that came before you and the people that might come after you. You are literally standing in the gap for your lineage, where you're born from. There is so much power and so many forces at work that are pushing you. At any one point, every man is being led, whether it's by God or by the other entity, but there is a power that gets you to stand in that place and count that cost and take it on. It might be motivated by the need to do better, to be excellent, to get the promotion, to get more money. It's still not obvious for you to count the cost and show up. So every time you want to give up, every time it gets hard, every time you want to take the feedback personally, every time you want to beat yourself up so much, instead of forgiving yourself and quickly picking up the ball, remember that you come as one, but you stand as 10,000. So believe in the power that has brought you this far, and therefore you cannot actually fail. You have so much support around you, behind you, ahead of you, that you even have no idea exists. And finally, it's the fact that education is always a good idea. Education will always be a good idea. There's no waste of time with school. Never be lied to. Any chance and opportunity you get to educate yourself, to upgrade your education, take it. Even as a freelance creative person, whether you're a photographer, videographer. You know, when you're a photographer, you may never think about upgrading your education, because it just seems like I take nice pictures. ISO will always be ISO. The exposure triangle will always be the same. I'm a videographer. Exposure will always be the same, you know, the editing. So it might look like maybe you just need better equipment or things like that, but not necessarily to go back to school. There is a very huge difference between someone who goes to school and someone who doesn't. Even just at the level of, like, let's say the first education levels of your first degree or just a diploma, there's a difference between that person who has seen a blackboard or several blackboards and someone who, for whatever reason, whether it was their doing or some people it's just unfortunate they could not afford school. That's why I'm emphasizing in this video that if you ever get a chance to go back to school, if you didn't get it, take it. It's going to make a difference. There's a difference between someone who just picks up a camera and learns how to take pictures and someone who actually gets the opportunity to go through school. Small things like just knowing how to write a proposal, how to draft the right email, how to write one word for 5 words, such that the email is not lengthy, how to write a report after an assignment, how to write captions, how to write a simple article. Those small things, those small soft skills can make a whole difference of hundreds of dollars in the money you're able to charge, but also that you're able to attract. Remember in the video when you talked about frequencies, like the frequency that you're on and the things that you attract at that frequency, education puts you at a certain frequency. Each level of education has a frequency it puts you at, and it puts a communication out in the world that this is my playing field, this is my playing level. And please do not be deceived. Yes, there is this whole thing of people making a lot of money without education, depending on the field they're in, especially business or whatever. It is very true. But I need you to take those things on a case-by-case basis because you don't know what privileges and advantage those people have over you or whatever. For you, the African child who's watching me, go to school. Every opportunity you get to be educated, take it. It doesn't have to even be the normal traditional university 3 years. Even if it's just a professional training, education is never a waste of time. So in case you're thinking about going back to school to upgrade your education, or if for any other reason you didn't get a chance to go to school, but you somehow managed to get a skill that you're good at, whether it's a skill that is hands-on, whatever place that you managed to get into, whether it's a job opportunity, and you've made some money and you can now afford to go back to school, I hope this serves as your sign, as your encouragement, as your sure deal to know that the decision, the thoughts you're having are right. You will not regret it. You'll be thankful for it. And before you say, or maybe I'm 35 or I'm 40, if I start school now, I'll be 43 by the time I finish. The truth is, you're going to turn 30, you're going to turn 43, you're going to turn 45, you're going to turn 25. You will still turn that age with or without the qualification. So might as well go back to school and turn that age with a qualification. And after you get that qualification, do not stop. If you have opportunities to attend workshops, professional trainings, go for them. I hope this encourages you to get out there and get your education drive on in 2026. I'm rooting for you. I wish you well and I want you to prosper. As usual, my videos are shot at the incredible MPIC Studios, which is a content creating space in Kampala. They offer studio space, equipment, and videographer. If you would like to get into content creation, however, if you have your own videographer already, or if you're a videographer and you're looking for a space where to shoot content for your clients, you can reach out to them and you'll be able to get a beautiful space where you can do your content from. And they're very affordable, just 50,000 per hour. So get your groove on and let 2026 be the year that you actualize your dreams, because you have no more excuse. Is it the space that you need? Is it the equipment that you need? Or the skill? Reach out to MPIC Studios, who are making my dreams come true with content. Bye and see you in the next video.